And this is the very moment to say hello to our Federal Chancellor.
Einen schönen guten Morgen, sehr geehrte.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, dear Chancellor, ladies and gentlemen. The German writer Stan Nadolny in 1983 presented an extraordinary novel, Die Entdeckung der Langsamkeit, the discovery of being slow. This is about the English seafarer and North Pole researcher John Franklin in the 18th century. His purpose in life was to discover the Northwest Passage, which is a link between the Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean. Franklin is indeed slow, very slow indeed, in his way of thinking, speaking, acting. Actually, he was too slow for our modern era of the Industrial Revolution. The presumably weakly maverick, however, has extraordinary capacities. Perseverance, being scrupulous, being serene, and having clear values. Franklin does not follow the permanent acceleration of his era and counters it rather by his attitude and his creed. His creed is, all of us, any individual, can always make a meaningful contribution to society along with their capacities. That's what HistoCouch, an online magazine, histocouch.de, writes about him, about this hero. Even if the media world has become faster and faster in the last few years, I fear that still we are a bit similar to the British seafarer and researcher, because we had nicest weather for sailing, which makes us a bit sluggish. And then, during the turn of the millennium, the digitalization started and there was a first thunderstorm, and then we used the wrong sails, unfortunately. We gave away for free our content, and we very much hoped that it would be worth it somehow later on. But then, when there were more and more pirates at the horizon, first called Google, then Facebook and all the others, you know them, we had failed to understand their purpose. Many of our ships had been under heavy fire already, but still we had to wait a bit more until we shouted Mayday. Now, this help is delivered to us by Europe's politicians. Still not complete, but it's better than nothing. And the business case of giving things away for free, unfortunately, is not used any longer by many media, and partly there are promising new, very agile ships which are being used. In the meantime, we have been taking up a new and even bigger challenge, and our response time, again, is unfortunately rather slow. After the systematic and purposeful reproach of liars press, which had been repeated more and more by a US president lying himself, the next monster wave is threatening our ships. In Europe as well, we keep observing how journalists and media are ridiculed, are under pressure, also economically speaking, so that they even have to quit their work in certain extreme cases. For the very first time, the freedom of the press is a topic even here in Europe. Not everywhere, and not always to the same extent. Some political parties, or even some European states as such, have the clear intention to extinguish an independent press. Because even if we are slow, according to Franklin, we seem to have one characteristic which makes us a bit dangerous, makes us awkward in the new political mainstream, because we have subscribed to values. We live and implement values. We fight for the defense of them. We have the intention to serve society, or should we say even protect society. We do so with our means and ways of truth and being honest. Yes, of course, we make mistakes as well. But We call a spade, and we try to improve and become better. But this, ladies and gentlemen, won't be enough either. If we want to stand the test as an industry, we have to forget our thinking in terms of competitiveness. We have to sail in fleets. In many editorial departments, this is already being done because there is joint research work and investigation, which makes us better and even more awkward at the same time. And in some other areas, like in the digital, we can improve very much. This year is the 20th European Newspaper Congress, and at the very same time the first European Publishing Congress. Philipp Welte, sitting here in the first row, beside the Chancellor, CEO of Burda, last year in Vienna, approached me and asked me why we do a European Newspaper Congress, but not a Congress also for magazines, because newspapers, magazines, of course digital, and moved images have grown together and are one publishing world. And this change of our name means that our Congress will also follow this trend. So thank you very much for your excellent idea, Philipp Welte. I will not forget you as the author of it. More than 500 journalists, editors-in-chief and media managers from 35 European countries have registered for this very Congress, which indeed is an all-time high. My thanks go to Norbert Küpper, the forefather and founder of this Congress. My thanks as well go to the city of Vienna as a co-organizer and host, and I thank you for having taken the time and trouble. Ladies and gentlemen, do use your days in Vienna, do network, do have an exchange, and maybe your ship can sail with us in our new fleet. Franklin's being so slow seems to be a prerequisite even for a more humane society, born by respect for other human beings, born also by responsible acting, as histocouch.de has said. The serene and conspicuous manner contributes to peace among people and peoples. Should we not say the very same thing for us as well? And now I'd like to hand over to the Federal Chancellor of the Republic of Austria, Mr. Sebastian Kurz. Please officially inaugurate the European Publishing Congress, as it were, 2019.